I love. You know what's weird? The sound wave is so like the clap sound wave is so soothing. It's just like a little.
Just a spike. Just boop. There it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever just looked at the sound wave and go, wow, and then look at the shape it makes?
Ooh.
I just made one. It looks like a slug.
Right. I did. I just said ooh, and it looks like a sunfish.
For me, it all depends on where my mic is plugged into. Because if it's plugged into my docking station, any type of sound I make will generate like large spikes. But if I connect it to my laptop, it's minor spikes.
Interesting. I've noticed with this mic, depending on the angle that I'm talking at it, it's louder or quieter. But head-on doesn't do enough. It has to be at the right angle.
Thank you. I think I figured out
You
why.
forgot all about the mic.
I
didn't
forget about the mic. I just forgot to move it.
Oh. Mike, you sound so far away this episode. What happened?
Mike's mic'd tis mic'd.
There we go.
Oh, my God. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Holy
There you
crap.
go.
Oh, you
So
sound
much
so
better.
much clearer now. How ironic.
I have you guys. See, here's the thing. You guys, I have to hold mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want to be like extra cool,
That actually sounds different when you hold it that close.
in a good way or a bad way.
No, in a good way. I don't know what it is, but that sounds a lot better.
What if I talk like this? What if
you make love to the
mic? What if I sing to you?
Please. I need something to put me to sleep.
Oh God, no! That would keep you awake with nightmares.
Who's killing a cat outside? What's going on?
Yeah, yeah. Did somebody run over a banshee?
Oh, my God. You know what? I realized just now that I can't give you an update on Dungeon Crawler Carl because I've been updating you every time I finish listening to a handful of chapters. And I just finished book 3 now, so I've got to go in and get book 4.
By the way, if you keep me informed, like text me on.
Are you
the
loving
side.
this?
I want. Yes, because it's. So I have a friend that's reading. They were reading Mistborn Era 1, like you were talking
starting
about.
that next as well. And I found the Iliad on Audible, so I'm going to start listening to that too.
Oh, so I would
love the Iliad and
recommend
the Odyssey.
Rock On. With Mistborn,
Mhm.
just no. Anytime you come up with anything that happens, let me know. But just know that I'm going to come back and be like, just keep reading. You just got to keep going, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize just how huge his. I don't even know, what would you call it? Like, is it the Mistborn mythos? Like, all those books are combined, right? Or like,
It's the Cosmere, man. You got to get into.
oh, is that what his world is
Cosmere.
called?
Well, that's what the universe is called, man.
Nerd.
Because you got. Oh my gosh, it's been like a year since I've read them. Scladriel. Then there's.
Hang on. Arthur? No. What the fuck am I talking about? Galadriel is fucking Lord of the Rings.
No, Galadriel. Hold on. Let me just do this. Do this, and then we'll say Cosmere planets. All right.
Also, do we want a lot of preamble, or did we want to jump into this too while you're looking that up?
No, you can jump. Let's jump in.
Well, finish what you were doing, and then I'm gonna have fun with this, with the intro.
So we'll do this. Copy image. This is what you're getting into.
Oh God, I'm scared now.
So.
Oh, what the hell? What is
That's
that?
the Cosmere. Yes. All of those. All of those take place.
What? They take place across like different
Schedule.
planets. Do they
Correct.
intersect? Or wait, here's the
Yes.
Wait, what the hell is shards
Yes.
of Adalnal? What?
Oh,
Adalnalcium?
Adonalsium is.
I'm gonna get a
Just
nosebleed.
read it. No, because we'll ruin it for the people that maybe haven't gone into it yet.
I'll let you know.
Let's
when I
do
start.
the intro into the podcast, and then we'll talk about that.
Fair enough. All right, everybody. This is the Ramble Pack. God damn it! Hey, God, Ramble Pack podcast episode 69. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know what we're gonna talk about this episode?
Pornhub.
God damn it! I was gonna say video games. Thank you.
We can talk about both.
Actually, you know what? One of the
Adam
things on
might
my
be
list
time
is
to
about
announce that we
not
got our
saying video games.
OnlyFans going.
No. We got our Patreon going.
I heard heard you had some clogged pipes.
Mike, it's nice to have you back on the podcast.
It's nice to have some interactions with an adult this time.
What do you mean you don't like being screamed at by children all day long anymore?
Oh my god.
We missed you.
I missed you guys too. And if you get, I don't know if we mentioned it in the past, but the reason why I've been missing for so long is because I had a
gave the
baby.
Yeah, you gave us the okay, so we had to let us know. Or let us know. Let the audience know. I already knew. Speaking of which, that picture you sent this morning was really cute. Did she just wake up or something, or was she just comfy?
Yeah, she was just comfy. She's actually at the point where she's starting to stay awake for like between a half hour to a couple hours at a time.
Nice. Just looking around, taking in the world.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I wish you could do that more during the day instead of at night. Because Daddy needs sleep.
That's true. You no more passing out at, what, noon until 4?
Oh, my God. Surprisingly, because of situations at home, I ended up taking an additional 2 weeks. So I really don't go back. I don't go back till October 4th.
Okay. So, take the time as
Does
you
your
get it.
does your company give you a good like paternity leave at all?
I'm going through the state, the PFML. I heard they have their own stuff too, but I was just like, at this point, I was already set up. By the time I found out about it, I'm like, okay. But they're very reasonable about it. Whereas like they couldn't question it on like, oh, I needed to take an extra 2 weeks than expected, and like, oh no, don't worry about it, you're fine. Shot off an email to HR, and that was it.
So
That's awesome, man.
That's what happens when you don't work at a company that exploits the shit out of you anymore.
It's true.
So bringing it back around to fucking. I mean,
well,
I mean
that
the
episode
number anyway. You remember how a couple weeks back there was like a huge crackdown on not safe for work games and stuff like that by that one group?
Yeah.
There's still aftershocks of that being felt, I guess, because I haven't looked enough into it, but at least one dev has confirmed that besides Valve blocking not safe for work games, not safe for work post launch, if companies want to, sometimes they will publish their games through Steam without that content in it, and then afterwards they'll patch it back in as like DLC or whatever.
Right.
Valve apparently, according to this one dev, is cracking down on that and not allowing that either because of the fallout from what happened.
Again,
Now, am I going to start screaming from the rooftop saying I need my games with sex in it and naked boobies? No, not necessarily, but don't stifle creativity either.
Exactly. It's none of anybody's fucking business. You want to pay for it? That's fine, as long as it's not illegal. Like, it's not child porn. The fuck?
Yes. That's I would say that's a good, I don't know, descriptor statement to
Right.
make. Yes.
Not
But
to
I mean,
ma-
like
Yeah.
Valve is good
Yeah.
with their policies and stuff in place, and like things, they have a good checking system for games that get published. So, still, but it's just unfortunate that a lot of the stuff is still happening because of that.
Because think about it. If you're not of age to be buying those type of games, anyways, what the fuck are you doing purchasing games on Steam without your parents watching?
That comes back on the parents, though. If you're not watching what your kids are doing and just letting them run rampant, something needs to be said about what you're doing as a parent.
That's my point exactly. I'm like, at what point is it not, or is the responsibility going to go back to the parents? I understand where these groups are coming from, but at the same time, you're attacking the gaming system because they're putting it on there and restricting everybody else because there are shitty parents out there.
And to relate it to this too, and I don't want to get political about it. We're not going to talk about it. It doesn't matter at this point because this is not the platform for it. But apparently, the Twitch CEO, Gabe Newell, Discord CEO, and I forget the last one, are being called to, whatever. They're being pulled in to discuss how their platforms are radicalizing people.
Yeah, that's where that's coming from. Sure. Yeah, that's
It's
you can't
video
see-
games.
Right. You know, when I'm playing Silksong, I'm thinking about overthrowing various government entities because
If I'm playing Pokemon, I'm going to take my pets and shove them in a small ball and throw them around.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna usurp the I'm gonna usurp the status quo with my playing of Angry Birds.
Yeah, totally. You're going to start chucking birds through windows.
And a bird for you, and a bird for you. Welcome to episode 69.
Jesus. Nice.
So definitely not safe, not family friendly episode today.
We're doing our best.
Right. Valve will not actually promote this on their website.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. So, Sean, I'm happy that you brought this. Well, you brought it up. You put it on your list since we 2 days in a row now we've talked about it since there was talks about it, and then there was some outbursts from the gaming community about it. Let's talk about the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake.
Oh, so, and it's funny because I pulled up and I put on the list your initial thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the whole thing is, and again, we were kind of talking about this beforehand. They're going to remake Black Flag, but they're changing things, right? So, right. Cool. I mean, there are some things that are good. No loading screens when moving between ship and land. Hey,
awesome.
That's fine.
That's the power of next gen.
Power of next gen. Loot and gear stats for Edward. Okay. Shifting towards RPG elements. Not jazzed.
Are they adding more armor and stuff to the game to make that not as, I don't know, not as sedentary? Because, like, remember how in the other games when you would get new armor, it was just like, here's a good one, here's the better one, here's the better one. But that's all it was. There wasn't any, like, play style type of armor or anything like that. Like,
right.
You want to do stealth.
No specialization, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, again, this is all from the rumor mill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Yep.
And the thing that really got me is, again, the RPG, and the big thing is they're removing the modern storyline from the game, which
that one didn't have a big modern story to it, though. Was that one the first person one where you're wandering around in the office? Yeah. Yes.
And that's where I'm like, I
felt that
get
one was
it.
Weak compared to the other modern day stuff, though.
Sure, and I'm totally on board. You want to kind of dumb that down a little bit, or not dumb it down, but you want to kind of dummy it out. Mm-hmm. Fine, but if you're going to go through this whole big budget thing, and I guess this is kind of my overarching thing with the Assassin's Creed thing in general, there was and again, it's actually in the comments of this, basically people talking about how that was supposed to the modern day storyline with Desmond before, developers changed and they changed the whole arc of the series was supposed to the culmination of all of that was supposed to be a modern day Assassin's Creed game.
Wait,
which
when the devs changed, it changed the trajectory of the modern day story?
Yeah, because
I didn't realize that. Holy hell!
Yeah, I forget what the guy's name was, but like the guy who was in charge of the guy who kind of thought up the games left Ubisoft, and then he obviously left it in the middle of the series or something like that. I think it was like right after. It might have been right before Assassin's Creed 3. And because of that, the modern day arc that they were planning on doing got kind of truncated because people kind of gravitated towards the taking place in the past portion of the games. And it's like, cool, but I still like the modern day storyline. Fix it up.
Yeah,
Gussy it up a little bit.
I liked 1 through 3's modern day telling of the story, but once it ended, I was like, great, what's going to happen next? And then nothing happened, basically. So I was like, well, damn. They just kind of took a backseat to the past games, which I will say the past gameplay and stuff with what Arno and Unity and what's his face in Black Flag and stuff, those games were great. I liked how they played, but I still wanted more of the modern day story with what was going on with all the assassins, even with Desmond gone, because we were introduced to other characters. There was more stuff to say or tell there.
Right, and I think that's the thing that really... If you're trying to plan this whole overarching narrative of there's Templars and there's Assassins, and then you say, okay, there's going to, there are these two factions that exist through the annals of time. but we're only going to focus on the one small aspect of this story, it kind of doesn't connect the Edward Kenway portion of it to the entire rest of the narrative. So what's the point?
Right. It's they in the modern telling of that stuff, they made it like it's a video game and you get to play these kind of video games as those characters and experience it, but it was like a way to get more information out of it or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and that was the storyline of that specific game too, was like Abstergo was making a video game and you were like playtesting it or some shit. Like there was something to do with that. And again, it's been years since I played Black Flag, but
same.
Yeah, and it's like I like that kind of meta element to it where you're looking at it from the perspective of we all know this is a video game, but we're gonna put a nod to it right in the beginning of it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I don't know
your feeling. I want to know I know you told me, but let's tell the world. What are your feelings about the rumors about it?
So I guess here's my thing. And like we were talking about it before, it's kind of like the special edition Star Wars, right? Where if you take a piece of art, and again, and I'm going to call it art because I mean that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you take a piece of art and you fundamentally change it to suit a different audience, is it the same piece of art? And the reality is no. And if you get people to buy the game and play the game and people like it, hey, who am I to judge? But at the end of the day, that piece of art that you originally had is now gone.
And here's where I can push back against that, and I know other people are going to have this argument too, is that old original piece of artwork still exists. And in its form, you're still able to go back and play it as it was too. They're not going back and ripping that out so that way you can't do that just to fall in line with what they're doing now.
True. Like if they came back and they said, by the way, like in a Star Wars special edition kind of way, those earlier editions don't exist. Yeah, of course, you can still play it. But I mean, I think that people who were fans of the original game, knowing that there's going to be some love put into remastering it or remaking it,
mm-hmm.
they're going to be, I mean, at least someone like me, I'm going to be like, well, if it's going to be in like they're using Skull and Bones assets because it's cheaper,
of course,
like because no one's playing that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is it cool? Yeah, I'm glad that they're doing it. It was a great game, and they don't change the story of what is actually happening during the game. Rock on. There are some quality of life upgrades, but at the end of the day, don't remove the modern day element just because it wasn't the greatest. If you want to reduce it,
part of
fine.
the game, keep it. I mean,
right.
Hell, give it some love. Touch it up more. Make it more interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Give it the old one too.
Mike, I want you to tell me about you testing the PS Remote Play stuff, because I found that really interesting that was even a thing.
Yeah, I had no idea about it too. I don't even remember what the hell the reason was that brought it up. Oh, I remember. Because I remember you had said you had bought the Kingdom Hearts collection, the
Yes.
1.5 and 2.5 for like $20 on the PlayStation
Right.
Store.
I'm inside a Monstro right now. I'm still there. I haven't played it. I'm back on Stardew, so
Yeah.
I'm working on that again.
I basically, what I ended up doing is I figured I'd buy the digital version because I already have the physical versions of it. It's good to keep for the collection.
I bought it 5 times. Let's buy it again. Why not?
For $20, it was worth it to me because it's the digital version. I've already played the game. It's not, and I have a physical copy. It's not like it's a main title game.
It's going anywhere. You have it.
Right. It was just more for ease of access, so I can be lazy and don't have to pull the disc out and put it in the system and stuff like that.
That's fair.
But I want to say I was going through had to go through the PS app because I believe the kids were watching the TV at the time, so I couldn't play PlayStation.
The PS app on your phone?
Yes, the PlayStation Network app.
Okay.
And then I
Just
want
wanted
to
to
say they were advertising the app. And I was like, okay. Went to go check it out, and I was like, oh shit, I can do this.
So how does it work? If
It
you don't mind
basically,
explaining.
from my understanding, the way it works is you can as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network as the device you want to stream from, it's you can connect to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and basically remote in the same idea as the PlayStation Portal, except you don't have to buy the freaking handheld.
Right.
You can connect to it, but it has to be on the same Wi-Fi network. I was here. Here, I was thinking. I figured I didn't realize that. And I tried to test it out by bringing while I was waiting to pick up Sawyer from school, while I'm on my leave. Figured I'd sit in my truck, try to see if I can connect. Didn't work, but so that kind of sucks. But it's still, even like we talked about. I don't remember how long ago when it first came out, the PlayStation Portal device, and how much I hate. But but I hated that freaking thing when they made that announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Here I was thinking it was like an actual handheld. No, it's just a streaming device, which you can only use in your house.
It's like one step removed from cloud gaming almost.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is.
It's Wi-Fi gaming.
Well, yeah. And I'm like, what the... When they made that announcement, we're saying what the hell were they charging? Like $200-300 at the time, something like that.
For the Portal?
Yeah.
Yeah, $200 or $300, I think. Sean's looking it up. As soon as I see a screen flash, I'm like, he's on it.
But yeah, no, and you remember how vehemently against I was on it. If it was like a PSP, I can understand that.
But that was also, they changed that too, I believe. It used to be only on the Wi-Fi, and you had to have your PlayStation console on, and it would connect to it, and you could play it wherever. But then they opened it up to be like a cloud-based thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
I could very well be wrong too, but that's what I'm remembering.
So,
$200.
So it's $200, but again, like you're saying, it's only on home Wi-Fi because you're streaming it. You're basically connecting to your device.
Right.
So which is like, I get it. Like that's if you're at home. Like, would I get something like this? Sure, if I had like $200 just burning a hole in my pocket. But like,
I feel like
at
you
the end
really
of the
need
day,
to love your PlayStation for that too, though.
Right.
That's the whole thing. We were talking about this with the Steam Deck. The Switch 2 scratches all them itches. Why do I need to, I can pick it up and bring it somewhere.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
Nintendo makes it so easy to do that.
And that's why we ended up getting the Switch, because we could do that. Mm-hmm. But, like, had PlayStation made it like a PlayStation Portable or the Vita, all day long, no questions asked, I would have done it.
Dude, if Sony made the PlayStation Portal like a cloud-based thing for their stuff, I think that would have sold a hell of a lot better.
Oh, hell yeah.
That would be like their version of a handheld and an answer to Nintendo stuff and like one up on Xbox.
Yeah, because my thing is with that is Nintendo's already proven that you can make a handheld system like a main system. PSP did it, making it seem like you had the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 in a handheld. And that was awesome. The fact that, especially with the way the systems work now, where not a whole lot of games let you co-op anymore on the same system, that would solve an issue where, like, for example, if you and I are playing Destiny, the first thought that came to my mind about that app, if I can go out of the network, whenever I'm visiting you, I could try to
with you.
Huh?
You can have your character with you.
Exactly. I could, if they made it so that as long as we have an internet connection, I could remote into my PlayStation and keep it at home, and we could still play in the same room.
Dude, hell, you can have a controller using your phone as you can screencast from your phone to the TV. And it'd just be like your console there.
The app doesn't allow me to do that, unfortunately. At least not on the iPhone. But even then, it's not a big deal. Especially if you have it close enough. Look at the size of the Switch screen compared to our phones. Our phones aren't that much smaller.
Right.
And even then, if I was really that concerned about it, I can get a small tablet. Same idea. But and it ran pretty smooth from what I was playing. Ironically enough, I ended up starting Kingdom Hearts 1 again just to see how like it handles the cutscenes and everything like that, and I noticed no difference between being on the PlayStation 5 actual system on the TV versus the phone. I want to say my only gripe about it is because of the shadow controls, because it has that feature on the phone if you don't have the controller. It's when it'll minimize some of the stuff, but it still shows up on the screen. I haven't figured out if there's a way to just like completely make it invisible. But that would probably be my only gripe at this point, outside of the being stuck to being on the same Wi-Fi network.
Since we talked about Destiny Rising a little bit before, do you use controls on the screen, or have you connected a controller to it?
To play Destiny Rising, no. The only time I connected the controller to the phone was to try the remote play. But I'm actually gonna have to try that now because I have the PlayStation 4 remote paired up to my phone.
This works nice on it. It feels like Destiny when you're playing with a controller. Also, I'm going to try to sell you on something like I tried to do with Sean. Yeah. If you want to play Xbox, if you have a Microsoft account, all you need to do is spend $15 a month or annually or whatever you want to do, however you want to pay it. And then you get the top tier of their game catalog service or whatever. And then all you need to do is just download the app, connect your controller, and that's it. You're playing Xbox games, you can do multiplayer and all that shit on there. That's all you got to do.
Trying to convert, huh?
I'm just saying. It's something easy. Got a huge list of games and we can play it on that with no problem.
I seriously, I will think about it a hell of a lot more than I was before.
I'm gonna say
Bill
I'm doing
Gates,
Xboxes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Bill Gates just appears from behind you and he's like, "Yeah, do it." Do it.
Oh my god!
Well, I mean, their advertising was really good when they were running around saying this is an Xbox and this is an Xbox, and they're just like using different devices because essentially, if it's connected to a Wi-Fi and you can connect a controller to it or whatever, it essentially is that via cloud gaming.
Right.
It's no big deal.
Exactly. If especially if games are going to be going that route now, where they're going to look more to cloud gaming and stuff like that. What's the need for a separate system anymore?
That's true, but I really don't want that to be the case. Because then your gameplay won't be as smooth or, honestly, comfortable feeling. I'd rather have it on a system.
Right.
Sean, how far are you in Hollow Knight?
So I'm like,
you stopped, didn't you?
No. I was playing it yesterday, and it's good. The one thing is, like, I'm kind of stuck, and I'm trying not to look up what to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, yep. Like, where am I at? You know the Mantis town? There's, like, this Mantis area where, like, at the bottom you have to fight, like, 3 dudes that are mantises. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. So I'm, like, there, and I have to beat them. And, like, I know it's one of those deals where I have to go over and over again, learn their patterns, and then, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm just, like, I get there, and I'm like, But it's good. It's the problem. No, I am. The thing is, I am feeling it, but, like, even today, I was, like, while I was waiting for you guys to jump on, I'm like, maybe I'll just jump on and play a little bit. Then I was like, you know what? I'll sit down in front of the TV tomorrow. It's Friday. You crack open the Switch. One thing, and again, I think this might be causing part of my issue, is that I play it in handheld mode, which, like, it's really, to get that, like, that dexterity, that manual dexterity, it's hard to do when you have like a giant system sitting in your lap, and it's
Yeah, imagine a
it's-
controller's like this long. It just wouldn't feel right. Like there's something
Yeah.
different about this versus playing the Switch in handheld mode.
And there's something really interesting too about. So one thing I do love about the Switch too is you can like prop it up. You know, it has a little kickstand, and then you can pop off the controllers. And I think the Switch did this too, where you could just put the controllers in the little holder and play it just like a normal system.
Yep.
But you can't do that on a couch. You know what I mean? I've tried so hard. I'm like, let me put this on the controller holder, and try to play this, and then you're trying to put the screen somewhere, and you have to prop it up on like a pillow, which just makes you feel bad because you spent a shit ton of money on that system. I mean,
Well-
it's good, and I like it. I really do like it. I guess my question to you then would be, how are you liking Silksong?
I'm enjoying it, and I mean that is the reason why I brought it up, is because like the game is fun. It's pretty tough. Like even with everybody saying that it's a lot harder, yes, I can feel that, but the devs have explained kind of like why it feels tougher too. It's because Hornet's a lot quicker. She's more agile. So to compensate, the enemies have to be able to combat her thing too and make you think when you're playing.
Right.
Funny enough, because of that, though, there's been a mod that was released called Easy Mode, so that way people can download that, and it's gotten so popular that it's actually got the devs to be like, okay, we need to tune things down a little bit, tone it back a little bit. So I think they either have released one update so far and have made a public beta test for the other update that they're going to put out that tones down some of the stuff, gives you a little more rewards and stuff like that for enemies that you defeat, changes the way some damage is done. Like a lot of the outcry was certain enemy types, when they do things, should not be taking 2 masks of health rather than 1, which I can understand. Like running into an enemy, this is the thing I don't like about video games too, is if you run into an enemy, if they're not physically damaging looking, why would it hurt you just to bump into them? And I know that it's a whole video game thing, but still. But like bumping into them takes 2 hearts rather than their attack taking 2 hearts away. I feel like that's something that definitely needed addressing. But
Like the time that you were about to get into a fight with somebody and they punched you in the face and you were like, ow, and then you lightly brushed against them and they knocked you out.
yeah,
You know.
pretty much. Something like that, yeah. But they're at least addressing that, and I mean, the game has been on a popular uptick. They've sold in just like it's been a week since the game's come out? 2 weeks, something like that. They've sold at least a third of the sales of Hollow Knight 1, which was around 3.2 million, based on some analyst estimations from Steam alone. So I think they're doing pretty well, in spite of all the I don't want to say negative feedback, but like some of the outcry from it.
Right,
That's
right,
cool.
right. And I mean, I think that's I understand the idea, and again, like doing the Ninja Gaiden thing of making it so hard that you just want to die. But like at the same time,
But that's
it's like,
why I love Ninja Gaiden Black. It was so fun getting your ass kicked over and over. Because once you learned it,
Well,
you're like, yeah, I fucking did it.
yeah. But then at the same time, there's also people like me where I'm like, I've died 150 times. I don't want to do this, and
That
that's
makes
why
me wonder.
Sekiro, I just stopped because I was like, I couldn't get the timing down. Like right at the very beginning, I was like, because I got it used for like $10, and I was like, cool, let's do this. And then I started playing it. I'm like, oh, I suck ass.
Here, maybe you guys can help me figure this out. What is between Ninja Gaiden Black from the Xbox, and Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, all those? What is the difficulty difference between Ninja Gaiden and the Dark Souls Elden Ring series? That I guess it's more of a personal preference, but why do I like the Ninja Gaiden difficulty and get my ass kicked in that game versus the Dark Souls series? I like those games, they're fun, but once like I just start getting my ass kicked from things that are like way beyond me or trying to figure out, I'm like, I'm done. Versus Ninja Gaiden where I'm like, I got my ass kicked. That was awesome. Let's do it again.
Well, probably because of the frequency of the battles, right? So like it's a slow battle type. Like you're fighting one enemy, you're doing a fat roll, you're trying to get out of the way in like any of your From Software games, as opposed to like Ninja Gaiden, which is just like pure action, go, 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 you know?
Yeah, but like 2 hits and you're dead if you're not watching what's going on too.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, go on, I'm sorry.
No. I was going to say I agree with you on that part. It seems there's enough action in there that it's distracting you. Where like, yes, I want to pass. You're getting all this action one right after the other. You're not thinking. You're not given time to think. Oh, this is fucking frustrating. I don't want to do this anymore.
That's probably why I liked Shinobi Art of Vengeance so damn much. Because once I like turned down my damage and upped the enemy difficulty, I'm like, I'm getting my ass kicked. I love it. This is so fun.
Yeah.
I love that game so much. And like I put in the notes, I'm like, is this the year that 2D side-scroller games are coming back around? I know that like these are very specific instances where we're talking about Shinobi, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Silksong. These are excellent indie games that have, well, indie games. These are excellent side-scrolling 2D games that are a lot of fun. And that those are 3 very specific instances. But there's been a ton of 2D side-scrolling games that have come out this year, or are scheduled to come out in the coming year at least. Are we having a renaissance?
I think that, and again, not that 2D side scrollers, especially in the indie space, have been super popular. Because if you go back, you got Celeste, you've got Limbo, you've got,
Braid.
Braid, you've got Super Meat Boy, you've got any of these, like, plethora of 2D platformers.
Yep.
Which I think one thing I do like, though, is that they're really kind of exploring like the artistic, because Silksong's a beautiful game.
Yes.
Shinobi's a beautiful game.
Yes.
Ninja Gaiden's a beautiful game.
Absolutely.
Super Meat Boy is not a beautiful game.
No, but
It's a
in
fun
action.
game. It's awesome in action, but it's not like. And to be fair, Braid was a beautiful game. So was Celeste. But like these games, I think we're kind of going to see the apex of this because there's only so many places you can go. One thing that I think is going to be the renaissance is not 2D side scrollers, but beat 'em ups. Beat 'em ups have been coming back heavy.
Are we talking about 2D side-scrolling beat 'em ups, kind of like Streets
Yes.
of Rage and stuff?
Exactly.
So I agree with you in that because of Capcom's fighting game collection and stuff like that. Those collections of games that are side-scrollers, dude, fuck, Mike, you and I, Streets of Rage 4, we were playing that. How often did I keep exclaiming, even though I've beaten that game and done everything, playing with you, how much fun was I having just doing it again?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
I
mean,
was getting my ass kicked the entire fucking time and had no idea what I was doing, and it was still fun.
Yeah. I think especially like because again, taking it on a base level, you have, Streets of Rage 4. You have the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. They're doing.
I love Shredder's Revenge when that came out.
Yep. They're also doing a like we talked about last time. They're doing a sequel to Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Like
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and I think that there are a lot, and I don't want to say it's easy, but there's a lot of these kind of genres of games that are completely overlooked because in a AAA space, no one wants to do it. Like, I don't think that Ubisoft is going to make a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
No. They have to tap a company to do that is like familiar with doing those kind of games.
Right, and then what they would do is go in and put in 1 million microtransactions, so that way, you have to mortgage off your house so you can get that new skin, and it's like
That's Ubisoft.
Why? Oh yeah.
So do you think that these side scrollers are the exception, not really the rule?
Of being good?
Of being like the apex of 2D side scrollers for now, since you said that the beat 'em ups are the next set.
I think that they're the next logical progression. I think that one thing that the indie space is doing that no AAA space is doing is they're looking at what the market wants, and specific people in that market. So, again, let's take Silksong. Silksong sold 500,000 copies in the first
day alone, and like on
Right.
Steam that it crashed their servers and stuff. Yeah.
Right. When's the last time that happened with the AAA game? Sure, it's going to happen with GTA 6, but when is that coming out?
But they're going to be prepared for that. I feel like if they were prepared for Silksong, they knew it was going to be popular, but probably not to the level that it was. Because, like you said, what game has actually done that in the past recently?
Right. And that kind of is my thing. Like, at this point, I think that, like, they are the logical progression. I think Silksong is kind of the apex of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that, again, I don't know the story beats of it yet, but hopefully there's a sequel to that. But
I haven't
mean,
beaten
at
the
the
game,
end,
so I don't know. We'll
but
find out.
I hope that they continue to explore it, and I hope they do it with kind of the inventiveness that they're currently approaching it with.
Since you mentioned the market and stuff like that, and like catering to the audience, I guess, I still don't feel like there's enough focus on single player games. I think there's still too much focus on multiplayer stuff. Like there was a call in the industry alone. There was a call during I think it was when E3 was still around, maybe, or when they broke off and like the different studios were doing their own presentations. There was a lot of talk about wanting to do single player games, or like they had a handful of good single player games come out, but it was still a flood of multiplayer games, or playing multiplayer games sitting on your couch and stuff like that. But there's not enough focus on the single player aspect, and I feel like that gets a bad rap too when you've got like, I don't mean to say this in a negative way, but like the Sony PlayStation Spider-Man games and stuff like that. Yes, those are single player games, but those are also big blockbuster action games that cost $1 million to make. I'm talking more like let's focus on the story and the characters and the gameplay, and like actually tell a personal story rather than like, here's a character you're familiar with. It's like playing a movie. Go have fun.
I agree with that, though. I mean, I would counter that with like a Ghost of Tsushima. I would counter that with a Horizon, though, and even with the older Assassin's Creeds. I think the thing that ends up happening, it's this AAA companies don't want to take risks because the investment to do a game is so prohibitively big. They would rather spend $500 million to get $3 billion back.
They want to play it safe.
Right. It's the same reason, and again, I love me some Marvel movies, but and I'm going to touch on that in a moment, but
please do, because
there's a
I was
reason,
surprised to hear about that.
Right. There's I love them. I love the Star Wars franchises. I love DC. I love all of these things that are going out, but at the same time, you get inundated with it. It's safe. There's a reason why we're going back to Avengers. It's because it's safe. It's going to make them buckets of money. Am I going to buy it? Yes. It's the same reason about the damn Switch too. At the end of the day, it's better to play it safe with something that they know that most people will like, instead of doing something like Silksong, thinking that, oh, it's only going to be a niche game that no one's going to play, and then 500,000 people buy it.
Yes.
Right.
Mike?
Speaking of...
Agreed?
Oh, I'm agreeing with everything you guys are saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
yeah. Yep.
no, I'm just thinking like to past conversations that we had where like my favorite games growing up were like Sukkot and all those type of games. Mm-hmm. And I would have no problem going back to that stuff. Unfortunately, companies don't. You don't get those as many as like you guys said. They don't want to take the chance anymore. Look at Square with Final Fantasy. Granted, they were still good titles, but they spent so much money, and they didn't hit as well as they used to.
We need companies to take big swings now.
Right.
So what's this about? Avengers?
Yeah, speaking of big swings, yeah, evidently there's going to be a Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra game, and there's been some...
Oh, Mike's interest has peaked. I just saw him tilt his head.
I mean, like, guys, come on, like... Hold on. Let's just call this what it is, right? And you can't tell me that picture does not make you want to buy a game.
Wait, what kind of a game is this? This looks like a still from Mortal Kombat.
So
like when they do the face-off?
You're going to love this.
Okay.
It is an action adventure, right?
Interesting.
So
there is a Marvel fighting game coming out too by the same people who do Guilty Gear and that. Of course, I can't think of their name right now. Arc System Works. So there is going to be an awesome fighting game coming out with Marvel characters too. If you haven't seen that,
one thing actually, and again, Totally.
You're gonna love
One
it.
thing that I loved that Marvel put out, or whatever game company actually put out, Midnight Suns. Like, that is what I want to see.
You
Like,
don't see a lot of games like that anymore
No,
either.
God no.
right. It's basically SOCOM, but with cool Marvel characters. It's awesome. With
Wait,
this...
SOCOM? I was gonna say XCOM.
Or XCOM, I'm sorry. I
Hey,
got my
you could have been right
comms
too. Who knows?
I got confused.
Coming back around to the episode.
At 69. The one thing, like,
Nice.
and again, going back to this idea of, I like to see a property, if you're going to do it, do something interesting. Again, let's take Marvel's Avengers, movie one. That was, for its time, brand new. A multi-million-dollar action movie that ties together a whole franchise. Great. We've done that now 3 times. How are you going to bring me in this next time? You have Thunderbolts, loved it. You had Fantastic Four, I liked it a lot. But like, let's look at DC. DC has Peacemaker, fantastic. Like, they're really kind of reevaluating what the reason is people want to get into it. This game, it doesn't take place like there's no Iron Man. It's looking at the cast. It's going to be Captain America, obviously. It's going to be a version of the Black Panther. There's going to be a Wakandan spy network leader and a Howling Commandos member. It's not, you're not getting the Hulk. You're getting, I mean, Captain America and Black Panther, obviously, you know, they're very well known, but you're not, it's not like the Marvel's Avengers game that got put out that no one gave a shit about.
Yeah. Mike, you would have more to say on this because I know comic book characters and some things, but I'm not that well versed in that stuff.
As far as the games themselves, I'm more into the Marvel movies, and I have some knowledge, not in-depth knowledge on the comics, but video games I don't know much on. I am liking the idea. Granted, it's being advertised as an Avengers movie, Avengers video game though.
This one, no. It's just Marvel 1943.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say it basically sounds like it's a Captain America game at this point.
Right, exactly. That's what it. And again, I like the idea. It's not taking place in the modern day. It's taking place during World War II. Like,
right.
I am down for that.
And you said it's action adventure. Is it like open world action adventure or is it levels? Kind of like the
I don't
Guardians
know.
of the Galaxy game because that was actually an excellent game.
That was a good game. And actually, it was funny because I remember I was watching Game Ranks when that came out, and they were like, "Well, we wanted to hate it, but this is like our favorite game of 2022 or whatever it came out."
Yeah, they nailed
It
that
was
one.
it was so good. Let's do this. This is for Mike.
Yep.
Putting this in here. If you're not following this guy, you should. This guy is named Sir Superhero. He is phenomenal. Phenomenal. He goes into the comics more than the MCU, and it's a really nice kind of, because he did one on I'm just going to pick one of his random videos, like he does one on the symbiotes.
Ooh,
And
okay.
basically, it's really, really good. It's like 2 hours long, and I've already watched it 3 times, and I'm going to watch it again. But he goes into like how that differs from the movie and why they did it. And he does another 2 hour long video that's on the multiverse, and he basically goes into like, you know, the difference between Marvel Comics and the MCU. And how they shouldn't interlace at all. Like, they shouldn't overlap in any way.
Right.
But then he goes in, he goes, except for one thing. And then watch it. It's very, very good.
I'm gonna have to. I like when people talk stuff like that because I want to say where book adaptations to movies usually don't work. At least in my experience, usually don't work out well. Comics and comics and movies do that really well. I don't know if it's just because the people that are adapting it grew up with that stuff versus, oh, you're getting paid to adapt this story, whatnot. There's no connection type of thing.
Totally.
But if they can pull, as far as if they can pull off what, on the video game wise, because I don't remember hearing anybody saying anything good about prior Marvel games or whatnot. If they can pull off a story like that, like they did for the original set of the leading up to the Avengers movie, they can translate something that type of style in video games. I think that would be pretty cool, to be honest.
Oh, totally. And actually, looking at this, like, it's still an early development, right? And basically, there's only a few set pieces that they have. It looks good, and like, hey, man, like, I get it. You have to play it safe. Disney owns Marvel.
Right.
Disney's gonna be like, hey, you can't change this shit. You know, you have to make it palatable for our general audiences. But at the same time, they're doing a World War II Rise of Hydra video game. I'm sold. I am on board. Speaking of, go on. I'm sorry. You.
No,
go
I was
right
gonna say
ahead.
you definitely have to be careful with the mouse because they don't want you fucking with their shit. But I'm thinking now with how Marvel's been handling, especially like the R-rated stuff and like that. At least on the Marvel end, I think they might be more willing to open up their be less helicopter parents in that regards.
Totally. Oh, and I'm actually going to bring this up in terms of parent companies being extremely over-parenty.
Okay, where's this going?
So I guess, and you, when you found out about this, we were talking about this in our group chat.
Oh shit! I think I know where this is going. It's the Pokemon patent, isn't it?
It is the Pokemon patent, and I see that you and Mike both put this as separate things that we want to talk about. And
I also feel like it's overblown in one aspect because people are just reading headlines and running with that rather than understanding what the actual patent says and like what it pertains to, which we talked in our chat about that.
Right.
Sorry,
well, and I guess
John.
that's my thing. No, you're totally fine. I think the thing with me is it on the face of it, right? Because again, we talked about the comparison between this patent and the Nemesis patent.
Mm-hmm.
How do they coincide? Nemesis, I'm like, okay, like if it's again, I don't know if there's some sort of underlying code or algorithm that makes it so these orcs go after you specifically. If the choices of the game chooses which enemy is going to follow you and challenge you to a battle over and over again. Again, I don't know the details of that. And maybe you can educate me on this, Adam. What is the details of the patent? Because it just seems like they're saying, hey, we had a good idea. Now you guys can't do that idea.
We're talking about the Pokemon patent or the Nemesis system? Because
Yes,
I can fill you in a little bit on the Nemesis one.
What about Pokemon? Well,
Okay.
Let's do both, if you have both.
So for the Nemesis system, a little bit, of course there's like an algorithm under it, but it's just simple math, so I don't know that they can necessarily patent math. But some of the main things was like the dynamicism of like the enemy hierarchy, where if you take an enemy out, another one takes its place, but it's totally based off of like the actual enemy hierarchy itself. They level up based on what's going on and things like that. So your interactions, how you attack their armies, who you take out and stuff, their ranks change dynamically based on that. Can you think of another game that has a system like that or something similar? Like, because it's an active army that's like everything is running all at the same time. So when things happen, everybody changes places.
I'm assuming Dynasty Warriors? I don't know.
No, because that's static.
I don't know. I can't think of any.
So one of the blurbs here I'm reading, it says, the system creates a procedural hierarchy of enemies with individual names, personalities, and memories of past encounters with the player. So they remember what you've done to who, what, and where, and will hunt you down sometimes depending on what camp you're in and stuff like that too. Like, basically, the generals and stuff have their own personalities and set goals in mind and things that they want to do. And that interacts with the world dynamically, rather than having a set of stats for them. But if they are able to defeat you, they get stronger as well.
Right.
So that was a lot
but
of,
I mean, right.
Yeah.
There's a pretty in-depth thing. So now, how does that tie into the Pokemon patent?
So, just like with every other patent, it's very specific information. It's got to be spelled out from dot your I's, cross your T's, A to B. It's got to be all very specific. So with this, the patent idea is what people believe is like, because you capture the Pokemon or in another game a character in some sort of circular or spherical device or whatever, and you can call it out and start battles, that's what the patent is. But it's not. It's more akin to the Pokemon Sword and Shield auto battle mechanic, where you're running around a field, stuff starts happening right away. There's no load times, there's no stop, look at this, choose what you want, and go. It's automatically, you have this Pokemon, you run across somebody, you throw out the thing, they start fighting, you can set what they're doing, you can choose what their attacks are, and it all happens dynamically there. That's something similar to what Pal World was having too, which is where all this is stemming from. Pal World had a system, well, I think they do, but they probably have to change it at this point, but they have a system where it's a dynamic system where you've got a character in a device of some sort that you carry around with you. You go and hunt down other monsters, you toss them out to fight, but you're also actively doing something there. You're fighting them with guns. Pokemon doesn't have that, but it's still an auto battle system. It's still similar to Pokemon, where you're throwing out a creature with some sort of device that carries them around with you. You start the battle without any kind of loading things. It happens excuse me. It happens in a world map. You get experience, you do all this stuff. A la Pokemon Sword and Shield. So what Pokemon did was they went back and patented that specific system for like the auto battle, and then spelled out these creatures in these kind of devices with this kind of battle system that's happening in this kind of way. And then it was permitted by the U.S., or it was granted by the U.S. or whatever. So because that they filed the patent here in the U.S. and was approved for it, they can retroactively go back and say, okay, now that we have this, you can't do that.
Okay.
Sure.
I can see it more that I thought. For my understanding, and again, I'm definitely one of those people that you were describing that just taking the headlines. But from my understanding, I thought it was just a basic release, you can't battle type of thing. Because then at that point, who the fuck are you to say? Let's say, for example, we have Digimon.
Right.
Same type of system, same type of idea, or Monster Ranchers.
Right. Or any sort of summon in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I guess that's where my slippery slope argument comes in of, cool, as long as it's a, hey, you're holding, or, if I came out with a game that I had instead of a Pokeball, I had a Shawnee box, and I toss it, and then, like, puppies flew out of it. Okay, fine. That's a little too close to home, but, like, summoning and stuff like that, I'm curious about if, and again, my argument is this, if something is that unique, somebody has to come up with this stuff to begin with. So, at the end of the day, jumping on an enemy, that's a very specific movement to kill an enemy.
Right.
Can Nintendo, and again, I don't know if they're the first one, they probably aren't the first ones to do that level of platforming, but can they go back and
Borderlands?
say, sure, right, you can do, right, I think there's an achievement for doing that.
There is. It's called,
right.
It's a Me or something like that. It's like a callback to Mario.
Right. There you can do, I think you could do it in well, it's not, you wouldn't kill
you
anybody.
can even argue that you can do it in Hollow Knight with the pogo attack too.
Right. You can do it in, I mean, if you're going back, every major platformer has had some variation of that going back through the annals of time.
You watch me doing that in Shinobi. I was doing my dive kicks, jumping around on people.
Right. I mean, and I guess that's my concern is like, okay, cool. That's a very specific instance because they don't like Pal World. Fine. Okay.
I have a little thing to read to you from The Verge as well once you're done.
Basically, I'm just done with it with like a, okay, we get the point. You don't want, you brought the toys, so that way you are going to be the only company that plays with the toys. But at the end of the day, can you then go and say, well, all toys in some capacity? You know, like Ghost of Tsushima using wind as a notifier. Can they go and patent that? Which, by the way,
Legend of Zelda could fight that because they used wind in Wind Waker.
Or, well, here's my thing. Going back to Zelda, Z targeting.
That too, yeah.
That's a very specific thing that I mean, again, any action-adventure game needs a way to direct your main character's attention to a target.
Right.
And normally it's by holding down a button, which makes you turn towards the thing.
That's very specific, too, because instead of using like magnetism in games to have your attacks land and chase it down enemies, you're specifically targeting an enemy so that way it goes to them. Like you're taking over actively versus the game doing it for you.
Right. And I mean, and it's not like Pokemon has been, as a brand new game that they just made. Pokemon's been around long enough where it can now rent a car,
And I think that Pokemon's upset because people are innovating on their idea and they're not in on it.
Right, and they want to do the least amount possible, a la the last main Pokemon release where you were like, ugh.
Yeah, it was bad. So I'm going to read this little paragraph from The Verge here. This was written by, I don't know because it just says summarize. I'll find their name on it here in a second. But it says that, I quote, "The patent outlines the process by which, after the player has summoned a sub-character, and a game software would determine whether to initiate a player-controlled battle, an automatic battle with the sub-character, or automatic movement by the same sub-character. In general Pokemon terms, say you're out in the world and you summon your Pokemon by throwing its ball. Did you throw it at a wild Pokemon? That's a regular battle. Did you throw it near a wild Pokemon? Your Pokemon will come out of its ball and start an auto battle. Did you throw it far away from the wild Pokemon? Your Pokemon will come out of its ball and walk around. It's not a patent solely on summoning characters to fight enemies or on automatically resolving battles. It's the whole web of options as described in the claim."
Right.
So that's how specific it is.
Speaking on that, and speaking of on not patents, but copyright infringement, Tencent came out and said, because they had the Light of Motrium,
I have not heard about that. What the hell is that?
So basically, it's Horizon.
Oh, the Horizon game. Fuck.
Yes. So evidently, in this article, they went out and they said, "Hey, we went to Sony and we said, we can help you out. We have an idea for a sequel to Horizon." And Sony was like, "No, we're good." And that's fine. They have the right to do that. And then they went and made a game that was exactly like Horizon.
And that's what shot him in the foot.
Right. But they were like, the claim is startling, but it's like, is it really?
Is it really?
But I guess but going back to it, I guess that kind of does tie into things. It's a open world game where you interact with robots, and robot dinosaurs to be more specific.
But this looked like Horizon too. Like
it did.
I could see where the courts would look at it and be like, "You got way too close to it. You got to change a lot more than just saying, oh, ours are rounded,' rather than having the square shapes of robots. It's
right.
too close."
Right. It's a. Oh yeah, I want Horizon. Well, we have Horizon at home.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. You are absolutely right.
I mean, again, I think the thing with, at the end of the day, it's a multi-million-dollar franchise, both Pokemon and Horizon. I get it, and again, I want intellectual property rights to be upheld amongst in all tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But my suspicion is going to be that there's probably some independent gamer back in 1996 who was like, "Hey, I came up with a game that you could throw a ball and a Pokemon, or a monster would come out and fight for you."
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like, "Well, I can't fight that because Nintendo has a cadre of lawyers at their beck and call."
And I think that's what sucks too about Nintendo is they are litigious. Mike and I have covered that a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
On just so that way we're all on the same page. Just so you know, on Nintendo Music app, they just released the
DK Bonanza music.
It just
I just got the notification too.
I was like, "Oh, that is That's
haven't played the
fitting.
game,
You
but
must-
let's listen to it now.
I know. I kind of want to get it.
Do you? Yeah. I've heard that
But I have to.
I've heard that
Yeah, go on.
the gimmick of the game kind of wears off after a while because it's the same thing. The gameplay, it's fun. The levels are varied and stuff like that. But the gimmick of like smashing things and stuff, it gets tired quick.
Totally. And
Oh,
again, I know
baby.
we're getting late. Oh, the baby. One thing I did put into here was all of the things that got brought up in the Nintendo Direct, and a lot of it is Switch 2 remakes or Switch 2 upgrades for existing games, and I'm very much pleased with that.
How do you feel about the Virtual Boy stuff? And I had to like
I'm-
double listen and double check on the stuff, but the fact that they're like, you need this accessory to be able to play the Virtual Boy games, what the fuck?
Right.
Why?
And also, the accessory is just basically a headset. So you just
You know what's funny?
put it on
You can pay $100 for a plastic headset, or you can pay $20 for the cardboard version.
Right. And at the end of the day, somebody, I follow a guy on TikTok. His username is like My Life is an RPG.
Nice.
And he does a whole bunch of stuff like science and all that. And he goes into the Virtual Boy thing and he's like, it almost seems like a joke. Like, it is, we want you to pay actual physical dollars to buy a thing so you can play games from a system that no one wanted.
Remember when this thing hurt your eyes? Let's do it again.
Oh, my cousin had one. Oh, it was so weird. And like,
Yeah.
just
It was a cool
no.
device. It's just, I wish that they put a little more time into it because the actual nature of it and the function of it was cool. It actually added
supposed
depth
to have-
to games.
Yeah, it was supposed to have color. And then Nintendo was like, hey, well, this money pit that we're sinking money into, you have to release it next month. And we're like, cool. And then they released that, and you're just like, cool, like, thanks. I mean, I do, and again, I think that the 3D gameplay, it's kind of like I don't want to say it's a fad. It's been coming in and out. 3D media has been a thing
They've tried so
long.
much and for so long to get 3D movies at home and 3D gaming stuff to catch, and it just hasn't.
Right. Like, how many people have bought 3D televisions with 3D glasses under the auspices that we're going to have a house party and invite everyone over. We have friends who had a 3D TV. It was huge. It was awesome. And they bought the glasses and they only had a few. And then the medium died. And now you have, again, a thing hanging on your wall that's supposed to do one thing and doesn't do it at all because no one makes that anymore.
Yep. There's your $3 word for the episode. Auspices.
$3.
You know what did the best version of 3D gaming? And I still
3DS.
don't... Yeah, absolutely.
3DS.
Yes,
3D.
hands down.
Bar none. To a point where it was actually shocking the first time I played it. And I don't have great eyesight in one eye. So, like, 3D stuff typically doesn't work well for me. And even then I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Yep.
And it was on this little tiny screen. Because I didn't
And
get
you
the
didn't
3DS.
need extra glasses or anything either. It was just on that. It was all
Right.
handled by the system.
Phenomenal. And again, like, I know it's kind of a fad. If you toss that into the Switch too, hell, man, like, are you going to iterate on that technology? Probably not, because at the end of the day, everyone was like, "Oh, you got headaches," and it's like, you gotta hurt for your art, man. But I don't know, like, it goes back into the thing of when we were talking about like controllers, for example, or like the Nintendo Switch. Iteration is kind of, and innovation is like the forerunner to success. So if you just sit on your laurels and you invest this money in this technology, how pissed am I that I can't play Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time HD because it was made for the 3DS?
Right.
Drives me crazy.
Since we're talking about optimizing and making things better, Mike, I want you to take the Battlefield 6 news that I have in my notes. Because I think that we need a little bit of positivity now. And I think as you're reading it, I think you're going to be really surprised at what happened. Because it started off as a negative, which turned into a really cool positive.
Let's see. Battlefield 6.
Read it out loud.
Oh, sorry.
Share with the group.
Battlefield 6 devs struggled to get the game running on Xbox Series S hardware. It taught them to optimize memory use for the game, though. Okay.
And the quote that I have down there is directly from the devs that were working on the game and what they managed to pull out of it.
Okay. As a result, the team focused on optimizing memory usage in Battlefield 6, and these improvements weren't just felt on Series S. According to Bull, this process made the whole game better and more stable. However, the devs also worked on specific optimizations for Xbox Series S2.
So to step back from that, apparently when they were developing the game for the Xbox Series S and X, obviously the X is a lot more powerful, so it had no problem with the memory of the game and loading things.
Right.
When they were developing for the Series S and putting things on, they realized that when they would load maps for Battlefield 6, it tended to crash all the time. And that was the only system that was doing that. So because of that, they were having memory issues for things loading in the game and being able to run optimally for what you would expect from a Battlefield 6 game.
Okay.
It taught them how to better utilize the memory from the Series S, but doing so actually applied positives across all the other systems as well, and they carried that forward to their development, which they had to make specific optimizations for the Xbox Series S as well, but it helped in the development for all the other series, or all the other consoles, I mean.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. So Xbox Series S, it's a pain in the ass to develop for. A lot of devs have said so, but in being a pain in the ass doing so, it helped Battlefield 6's development.
There you go.
Good stuff.
That's the silver lining to that cloud.
Yeah. And I guess it will be, I almost said displayed. What the fuck's wrong with me? It'll be put out on Series S as well when it's finally released later on.
Ooh. That sounds intriguing. I'm going to poke on one more thing, two more things. One, I put this in the thing, and I'm going to poke the bear.
Oh. Okay.
This I'm putting in again. We don't need to go too far into it.
Is
but
Mike
if anybody's, Mike is the bear. He's the guy who runs the restaurant on that show. He's like, I'm the bear. So there was...
Went in two different directions with that. He's talking about a comedy show, and I'm talking about a big burly gay guy.
Is it really? Hold on. Let's all stop for a minute. Is the bear a comedy? There's no laugh out loud moment on the bear where I'm like, oh, cool. My anxiety has ramped up a million freaking
To be
degrees.
fair, I haven't watched it, so I don't know if there's a lot of funny stuff. We've been finishing What We Do in the Shadows, so I'm stuck on comedy right now.
Totally. Speaking, if you're stuck on comedy, good old Mark Zuckerberg was like trying to show the innovation that they've had on the new Meta AI.
Oh, is this the video of the dude that was like trying to show off stuff and he just couldn't get it to work? Yeah, that was so funny.
Oh, it's so good. It's so uncomfortable. The guy's like, hey, Meta, show me how to make a steak sauce. And the Meta's like, you already made it. And the guy's like, no, I didn't. Tell me where to start. And it's like, but everything's already combined.
Yeah, dude, that was so funny. It was like, how do you make a steak sauce? Well, let's see. You did soy sauce, or you've got soy sauce, you got this and that. And he's like, well, what's the first step? And then it just goes silent for a minute. He's like, hey, Meta, what's the first step? Silence again for a little bit. It was so messed up.
Oh, it's so good. The only other... I guess I'll do the other two things as well. There's going to be a Splinter Cell animated series, which is...
Ooh, okay.
Cool as shit on Netflix.
Who is the developers of the show?
That is actually what I'm going to pull up right now. Let's take a look. So it's being done by the creator of John Wick.
Really? That's not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be by the same people who did Castlevania.
No, well, so it's a similar style. It looks to be a similar style artwork, but it's being led by Ubisoft Toronto.
Okay.
And then the character, the main titular character of the what is his name? Jesus.
Titular.
Hey, 69.
Hey.
So Sam Fisher is going to be voiced by Liev Schreiber. and there's going to be a bunch of other people in it, and it looks really cool.
Cool.
And then the other thing I was going to put on was Okami might be getting a sequel, or is getting a sequel.
I think it's about time.
Oh, you're gonna love this.
Did you play
Putting
Okami,
this-
Mike?
I never played Ukami. I wanted to. It looked beautiful when it first came out, so I'm very surprised.
They put out an HD version of it too, didn't they? That removed like the blur effect or whatever was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the HD version on, well, now on the Switch too, and I have to get back into it. I played it for a bit. It's super interesting. It's basically Twilight Princess without Link.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. And speaking on artistic merit, God, that game was beautiful.
That was nothing but art in that game. It was beautiful.
It was a game mechanic.
Yeah. You get to draw with a paintbrush.
Yeah.
All right.
The funny
I know
thing
you're
is,
trying.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on. No,
No,
you
go.
ahead. I'm sorry.
You finish your sentence.
The one thing for me was and this is again underutilizing the technology that they already have. There's a touchscreen on the Switch, and you can't paint with the touchscreen. You have to use like your.
What?
Yeah, no, it's a pain in the ass.
That's a missed opportunity there. Did the HD remake come out on the PS5 or anything?
I don't
Because you
know.
can use the touchpad to do that too.
I mean, I think it's because you want to make it ubiquitous. Is there a touchpad function on Xbox?
No. You're right.
Right. So they're gonna, instead of making it, again, not jazzed about people not utilizing technology properly.
I'm not going to go over this whole thing, but I loved this because it was a lot of research and analysis and gathering data and stuff. Obviously, it speaks to me. I'm going to ask you guys a question to lead into it. Do you play with inverted controls?
No.
Sure do.
Wow.
Oh,
okay,
that
we
was
got a yes and
wow.
a no.
That's a divvy.
Nice.
If I'm playing on non-inverted controls, it throws me off so bad. And then for some reason, like my brain, it just doesn't work right.
So here's the thing. I can go back and forth, and it all depends on what I'm doing in the game. Like certain flying games, it's easier if it's non-inverted, and other ones I have to have it inverted.
I've never gotten used to inverted. It throws me off, and I want to say I actually get nauseous when I try to do it.
Interesting.
So there was a study trying to figure out why people preferred inverted or non-inverted controls. And the thought behind it was that maybe it stemmed from when you originally started playing games, which they believed it started back on the N64 with the middle control stick. And like with the flight games and stuff like that, a lot of those games were already inverted, so because you were playing them inverted, you were already indoctrinated, it stuck with you as part of you, and you carried that forward when you were playing other games. As they were doing a lot of this research and stuff, they got further in and was realizing that their data was not answering the questions that they were looking for. So they developed a questionnaire with very specific questions about gameplay and types and stuff like that. And then I guess what the quote I have here is what they discovered was that the cognitive test suggests otherwise, that it's not any of that stuff. It's much more likely that you invert or don't invert due to how your brain perceives objects in 3D space. And I was like, wow. That is cool. It's very interesting, and that would explain why I play inverted or non-inverted depending on the game.
Sure.
I'm not
Actually-
understanding what do you mean, like how you perceive it? Like you scan from the top, like as your eyes are
Basically,
going up.
when you're playing the game and like you're moving through the space,
Yeah.
the way that it moves in that space and you're controlling it, it doesn't feel right one way, but it feels right the other way because of how you're seeing it from your viewpoint and moving through that space itself.
Right. I mean, that's
It's basically a natural feeling.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of CAD work, and that's kind of something that it is really interesting. There's a very, I'll use Autodesk as an example. Autodesk is a very standard structure, moving viewport, panning in and out, like tracking. There's
Yeah.
a very specific way to do it. And the minute that somebody makes one change, it's like I worked for a company a million years ago that their software was all one click, so you could do everything basically with right or left mouse clicks, and it didn't really use the it used the scroll wheel to move in and out, but didn't use it to pan, and I couldn't do shit. I was garbage with it. So like I totally get that. Like, and I think I'm kind of probably in the same boat as you, Adam, where I'm like I'm more inclined for first person shooters. Weirdly, I'm like, yeah, inverted. Go to town.
I just discovered something about myself talking about this. It's why I don't like the gummy ships in Kingdom Hearts. It's inverted and you can't do anything about it. I don't like how it moves.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have a lot of control. Does that put it into perspective for you?
Yep.
Yep.
I have to say, in the first game, I did not like the gummy ship system.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. You didn't detail it on your 2-hour conversation, which I listened to. By the way,
sorry, man.
If you're already listening to this podcast, go listen immediately if you have not to the 2-hour explanation, which at some point will be followed up with me and Adam explaining The Legend of Zelda to Mike.
To you, Mike. Yeah. You get to listen to us. Go on.
Oh.
Going down that rabbit hole.
Have you ever read Hyrule Historia? Back in the day, we didn't know.
Encyclopedias back there to reference. We're gonna have fun.
All right, gents.
Yes, sir. Are we all set to hit the? I almost said hit the bricks. Hit the hay.
Hit the hay.
Mike, you need your rest.
We are.
Hopefully the babies are sleeping.
Oh no, I've been staying. Well, it sounds like they're sleeping now, but I've been staying up till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. That way, Callie can sleep, and I just take care of the baby. And then from then, I sleep till maybe like 6, 7 o'clock. And if I need to take a nap there in the middle of the day, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks. Oh shit! I almost said bye without doing all our normal things.
Yeah,
folks, we are on. I'm sorry. We are on Patreon, and I'm current on YouTube videos. So if the podcast is live on here, the video version of the podcast is live on YouTube as well, which is just our logo with the splash screen on it, and you can listen to us talk or whatever with captions. But eventually, we'll move to camera once things get figured out. Get a better TV. TV? Yeah, get a better TV. That'll do it. Get a better computer. Anyway. Besides that, you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky and not Twitter, the other one. Oh, we're on Patreon, so you got to follow us on there too.
Threads. You're thinking of Threads.
Thank you. Threads is the other one. Yes. Threads, Facebook, Blue Sky. I almost fucking said Twitter again. And follow us on Patreon because Patreon gives us some sneak peeks about what's going on with the podcast and some different posts and stuff. So you get to get a look at the topics of this podcast. Before you even get to listen to it. And eventually, I'll learn how to get snippets of the podcast itself and throw them up places to give you a little sneak peek at the next episode. So.
Hell yeah.
Do it.
Let's go to bed, folks. Separate.
All right.
Not
Yes,
together.
Daddy.
Not everybody. 69.
Yeah. We did it. We got through it. Or we did it. It's a sex
Almost
thing.
like... We went to completion.
There you go. All right, I think it's time to go.
Later.
Bye.
Night, guys.